chromatic scale is made up of all the notes that we use in the Western system of music. The scale has 12 steps, but the notes in it have 17 different names. Now, why bother to learn anything that confusing? Well, knowledge of this scale, first off, is an essential key to being able to name all the notes on the guitar fretboard. But that's not all it'll help you with. The chromatic scale really is essential to the whole subject of guitar music theory, and without knowledge of it, it really is very, very difficult indeed to progress beyond the beginner stages of playing the guitar. Now, here's one way of playing the E chromatic scale on the guitar, just to give you some idea. It goes E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. Notice there's something a bit weird about the names of the notes on this scale. They don't appear to follow any logic, do they? Now, the reason for this weirdness is that the naming of notes on a chromatic scale was evolved not by guitarists, but by keyboard players. Explains it all really, doesn't it? Let's take a brief sort of historic look at this wacky world. Imagine a keyboard with nothing but white notes on it. How would you know which note was which? Well, you could colour some of the notes like this. Then a really clever idea might be to make those coloured notes higher and narrower than the white notes, which gives players the additional advantage of being able to locate notes by touch alone, freeing up their eyes to read the music. It also enables them to span at least an octave with one hand. This is a potted account of the thinking behind the development of the layout of the modern keyboard. But it's also the best way to visualise the naming of the notes on the chromatic scale. Firstly, the white notes are named after the first 7 letters of the alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Then, for reasons that emerge much later as you explore the subject of music theory, each black note is given 2 possible names. The black note to the right of the note C can be called C sharp, which means 1 step higher than C, but it can also be named D flat, meaning 1 step lower than D. If you're wondering why this particular pattern was chosen, take a look at how the notes are grouped on the keyboard. See how the black notes are in clusters of 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3 and so on. Well, it is this pattern that gives the keyboard player his orientation. For example, notice that the note C always comes just before the group of 2 black notes. The note D always comes between the 2 black notes. The note E comes after the 2 black notes. The note F comes just before the 3 black notes. G is the first note in amongst the 3 black notes. A is the second note in amongst the 3 black notes. And B is the white note that comes just after the group of 3 notes. And then, of course, we're back to C. So each note's position is uniquely definable by this pattern. Neat, eh? Meanwhile, back at the guitar, we're really still back where the keyboard was 500 odd years ago, before all these clever ideas were thought up. So the trick is to visualise the layout of the keyboard and appreciate how it influences the naming of the notes on the guitar. Put simply, we name the notes of the chromatic scale after those letters A, B, C, D, E, F, G, with each note being followed by a sharp except for B and E. So starting with the open E, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E. A useful view when working back down the scale in the opposite direction is to think of each of our letter names as having a flat after it, except for C and F. So starting at the 12th fret on the E string, E, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G, G flat, F, E. Notice that you can use a chromatic scale not just for notes on the E string but on any of the strings. So if, for example, I want to find the notes on the A string, I simply start the chromatic scale at A and I go A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G, G sharp, A. Coming back A flat, G, G flat, F, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A. Maybe I want to work out the notes on the 3rd string, on the G string. I'd start on G, G sharp, A sharp, B, C, C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F, F sharp, G. Notice when I get to the 12th fret I should be back where I started. So G on the G string, that's a sign that I haven't gone too far wrong on the way. Coming back, G, G flat, F, E flat, D, D flat, C, B, B flat, A flat, G. A great drill, and one that we cover very specifically in the chromatic chanting exercise over in the guitar gym section of the site. So you can see that the fluent knowledge of the chromatic scale really does help shortcut the process of learning guitar, finding your notes anywhere you need to find them, and it really does fast track the process of learning music theory. Now, as mentioned just now, if you have any difficulty whatsoever memorising the chromatic scale, get over to the guitar gym where you can have a great deal of fun working with me on chromatic chanting, which is a very strange religious ritual designed for that purpose. So I hope you found that interesting. Once you've had a little bit of practice using the chromatic scale to work out note names on the guitar, I look forward to seeing you in the next lesson, where we're going to talk about tones, semitones and the major scale formula. I bet you can't wait.